Okay, now we're live, right, Cindy? Hi, everybody. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. This is Karen Curry Parker, and today we are going to be talking about business by design. And some of you have already sent me some emails and asked me, why is this on the Healing by Human Design page? And I'll tell you why. First of all, I will say that if you have a passion or a calling, and that calling is so strong in you that you want to do something powerful with it, you have a life purpose or you have a soul mission, and you have a longing to put that mission into form, to have an impact with what it is you know, or who it is that you are, or the healing that you have to offer, or the message that you have to bring. If you haven't had a way of putting that out into the world that feels aligned and profitable and sustainable, it can be a really painful thing. It attacks your own sense of authenticity. In addition to that, if you're not doing your business correctly, if you're not lined up energetically and in alignment with who you are and your energetic blueprint, and you're pushing and pushing and maybe trying to do business in the ways in which we're taught to do business, which is not actually correct for a lot of people by design, if you're pushing because you're scared or desperate, or you're struggling for money, or you're not sure what to do with your business, or maybe you're engaging in business sometimes for reasons that aren't sustainable in and of themselves, you also have the potential to really burn yourself out. People tend to try to start a business while they're still working their day job. And so what happens oftentimes is you've got your day job going and you're full on there, and then you have your regular life and you're full on there, and then you're trying to build a business on the side at night or on the weekends. And at a certain point, if you're not leveraging all of that in the way that's right for your energy, you can either burn out, you can doubt your own value, you can question your own lovability, can even question, why are you here? So it makes sense to me to put this in the Healing by Human Design material, because you should be able to do your business, to fulfill the calling of your soul, and to do it in a way that's profitable, sustainable, allows you to have impact, allows you to do the work that you were called here to do. And so I want to talk today a little bit about some energy things that you might see in your chart that might be keeping you stuck or blocked. I want to talk about some things that you can do while you're in the process of waiting for the right timing, perhaps, to get things started. I want to talk to you about the correct way for you to do business, so that when you build your business, particularly when you're starting from the ground up, you can structure your business in such a way that it is a part of maintaining, sustaining your vitality, your health, your wellness, and it doesn't become a source of exhaustion or pain for you. So are the slides up, Cindy? I see a little thing down at the bottom. There we go. Okay, cool. So, all right, so here we go. Business by design, impact and profit, your way, no compromise. So we're going to be talking a lot today about busting through some of the stories that we have about business and that we've been taught about business. For those of you who might be new to human design, just really quick, human design is a synthesis of Eastern and Western astrology, the Chinese I Ching, the Hindu chakra system, the Judaic Kabbalah, and quantum physics. It is a blending of ancient archetypes. So I like to say sometimes that human design is a chart that tells you everything your grandma would tell you if she was able to tell you about who you really are. So if you do not have your human design chart with you right now, and you had one done for you, go ahead and get that out, because we are going to be looking at the chart a lot in this presentation. If you do not have a human design chart and you would like to get one, you can go to the Healing by Human Design page. Just scroll down a little bit beneath the video, I think. Is that right, Cindy? And on the left-hand side, there's a little button you can click, and you can go ahead and order your human design chart. We do hand calculate our charts because we are very concerned that you get the accurate chart, the one that's right for you. So we actually will hand calculate your chart. So give us an hour or two, and then we'll send you the chart with a lovely free report that will walk you through all the parts of the chart. So when you look at it, you're not going, what the heck is this thing, lady? So,
if you just
all right.
scroll down on this page, they'll see it, and it says, get your chart and your free report.
Yeah, so just scroll down on this page and you'll see it down kind of beneath where the broadcast is playing. So, all right, next slide, Cindy. So one of the things that's so powerful to me personally about the human design chart is it shows us that in the archetype of being human, meaning in the blueprint of our humanness, and this is true for all of us, we are designed to be supported. And we are designed to have all the resources necessary to fulfill our destiny and to make our unique contribution to the world. And we're designed to do it in the way that's right for us. So there is nobody that has a design of being broken. There is nobody that has a design of being poor. There is nobody that has a design of being invisible. There is nobody that has a design of not having a purpose. And there is no design of anybody who isn't here for an important reason and doesn't have something valuable to contribute to the world. You all do. So let's talk about human design and business. So there are two crucial things you need to know before you start your business, or, and this is true also if you're already in business. Number one, you have to know who you are. You know, we talk a lot, particularly when you look at spiritual philosophies and deliberate creation and even success philosophies and formulas. We talk a lot about you create your own success or you create your own reality. But if you don't know who you are, you don't know who the I is that's doing the creating. And sometimes what we find is that we go into business and we're going into business with agendas that aren't necessarily our own agendas, or we're going into business for reasons that don't support ourselves and who we are. So you've got to know who you are. And most importantly, you have to understand your energy configuration. Okay, your energy configuration, your human design type, and in human design there are 5 types. That human design type and your energy configuration is going to tell you a lot about how you need to structure your business so that your business becomes sustainable, supports you, so that you're doing your marketing and structuring your business plan in a way that keeps you healthy, strong, and vital, and that you're marketing and sharing who it is and what you're here to do with the world in a way that allows the world to really see you and see your message so that you can continue to have impact, to create a flow of profit, to have clients, to have people who are eager and ready to engage with you in the work that you do. So that's the first thing you need to know. The second thing you need to know is, what are you here to do? Sometimes when we go into business, we compromise on our life purpose, or we compromise on what we're here to do because we either don't know it or we think it's not valuable and process enough, and then we're watering down the truth of who we are, or we're trying to do what we think is going to guarantee us an income. You know, somebody told us, oh, well, you should do this multi-level marketing thing. And this isn't about me criticizing multi-level marketing at all. It's just that sometimes we go down rabbit holes in terms of what we think will give us money, and we think, oh, well, I'll do this and make some money, then I'll go do what I want to do. Cindy is telling me that I'm no longer presenting. Is that correct?
Well, you're up on the slide. But.
Oh, got it. Okay, good. So you got to know who you are, and most importantly, or hand in hand with that, you also have to know what you're here to do. All right, the next slide. Okay, now I'm presenting. I see me. So, all right. So, couple of things. One of the things that is actually, these are really important things to note. When you're first getting started in your business, and these are, I would call these very important rules, places where I encourage you, before you leap out and quit your job and decide to start your business, you've got to be really sure that you're clean in these 2 areas, because if you're not, you're going to really be struggling with getting your business going. So number 1, this is the number 1 commandment of starting your business or sustaining a profitable business. You shall not be crispy fried and burned out. I will say that in my experience of 27 years now of working and coaching people in business, that the number 1 reason why small businesses fail has nothing to do with lack of capital or lack of creativity or even bad marketing or bad business ideas, and everything to do with, if you are tired and burned out, you will unconsciously destroy your business and push people away because you unconsciously don't want clients because you're tired. And it doesn't mean that you don't love the idea of your business. It doesn't mean that it isn't a great idea for your business. It just means that you can't do business when you're tired and burned out. The second rule, and this is, I would say, the second commandment, is thou shalt not be desperate. If you are starting a business because you're desperate for money and you thinking, oh, this is a quick thing that I can do to generate some income, you will not create success, because desperation is not a creative energy, it's a destructive energy, and your unconscious drive for money will sabotage your business. Here's the thing. We are in the process of a huge shift in the energy around economy. When we look at the planetary energies around economy, for the next 10 years, we're going through phenomenal cycles of transformation. We are moving from an era of being grossly material in our perspective, and I'll couch this in the context of physics. We are coming out of an era of being deeply rooted in Newtonian physics. That's the kind of physics we learned in high school. That's the physics that ruled the laws of material things, that ruled the movement of material things on the planet. And business, to a certain degree, has been a very material thing. As we engage and move into a new era of business and a new economy, our new economy will become a quantum economy. And it will be an economy that is not driven by a desire for money, but driven by a desire to be of service and to provide and create services that will stimulate in the world the feeling of vitality, well-being, happiness, connectivity, community, sustainability. The nature of business is changing, and money isn't a driving force in the new economy. It is a side effect. Certainly you will be profitable when you are offering a good service and a service that is of value to the world, but money is not going to drive the new economic model. Values will, sustainability will, nurturing, compassion will. So if you go into business because you think, this is a quick thing that I can do to make money because I'm struggling right now, I can almost guarantee you 100% you will fail. And it's only because desperation is not creative. Next slide, Cindy. So in the process of growing and taking care of your business, you have to, first and foremost, tend to the garden of your mind. If you are exhausted, burned out, feeling unappreciated, if you are in a dark place with a mindset, if you're engaging in something because you're desperate and you don't know what else to do, don't start your business. Go sit down in your meditation chair and get your mindset sorted out first, and then start your business. Because your business is the biggest way to manifest inspiration into form on the planet. And if you're not feeling inspired, instead you're feeling desperate, it'll be very difficult for you to create something beautiful and something that will continue to blossom and grow for you over time. The next thing that's going to be important for you to know when you are getting ready to start your business is you've got to know your paralysis points. By the way, these energies affect everyone, no matter how successful they are. So if you have any of these paralysis points, don't beat yourself up and start giving yourself a new story about why or how you're stuck, because you're not. Everybody has these. It's about knowing how to leverage these points so that you don't get stuck into them. In the human design system, we have a center on the left side of the chart. There are 9 centers in the chart. Each center is responsible for processing different kinds of energies. This center on the left-hand side is called the spleen center. The spleen is the center for instinct and the center for survival. Let's call it survival instincts. If you've got any dogs or cats, they've got really well-developed spleens. They have strong survival instincts, and we do too. And it has a place. It's good to be afraid to go into a dark alley. It's good to be afraid to do something that maybe is potentially life-threatening and dangerous. But as human beings, we're a little bit more complex in the way in which we're wired. We do have instinct, we do have survival instincts, assuredly, but we also have complex minds and complex mental motivations. And it's very easy for us as human beings to get very confused about mental things, about thoughts, about ideas, and to hand in hand with those mental thoughts and ideas, have a deep, visceral, instinctive response, fear-based response to those thoughts and ideas. And so what can happen for us is what is normally an animal instinct that's about survival gets very convoluted and confusing, and we start to get afraid or paralyzed in our fear around certain things like, I don't have enough training. If you don't have enough training, you're not going to die unless maybe you're jumping out of airplanes or you're a firefighter, okay? But our minds get so twisted up with our instincts that we get these mistaken fears, these paralysis points when we do something and we think that they're real, and they feel real. I'm not poo-pooing them. It feels real. If you've got inadequacy, for example, in your chart, it feels so real. You feel like there's nothing you're ever going to do to be prepared for the next step of growth in your business. The thing that's important to understand is that splenic center, that brown triangle on the left side of the chart, and it doesn't matter, by the way, if you have it brown or white, we all have some of this, but I'm going to show you the gates that come off of it that will predispose you to experiencing these energies in a particular way. This center for instinct is also the center for time. And if you think about instinct, instinct is very time specific. Your survival instinct is deeply tied into reacting in the moment, right? If a bear is running after you, you're not going to climb up on a rock and take out your notebook and draw a line down the middle of the page and do plus, minus, pro, con. Should I run? Should I stay? Should I use the bear spray? Should I take a nap? You know, you're not going to sit there and contemplate whether tomorrow might be a better time to run from the bear. You're going to have a deep fight or flight response and then quickly take action, yes? That's the way the instinct center works. It's time limited and it's time specific. When we get confused about how to use that energy, what happens is we lose the awareness that these fears that we are experiencing can be dissipated instantly with action. I usually don't say this about anything else in the chart because there's much more subtle energies around timing in the rest of the chart. But in the spleen, everything in the spleen is about now, now, and now. So if, as I go through these gates of the spleen and you say, oh, I have this gate, and yes, I definitely have a tendency towards feeling inadequate, or I definitely have a tendency towards being afraid of the future. If you see that you have any of these energies and they are a real bugaboo for you, the only way to master these energies is to go through them. You have to push to get to the other side. So you really have to be able and conscious and aware that you've got to feel the fear and literally do it anyway. Once you push through these fears, these paralysis points, you'll have the beautiful gift of looking at it from hindsight going, wow, how weird is that? Why did that bungle me up so much? I can't believe how paralyzed I was in this fear. And now that I'm through it, I realize it was nothing. So it's a really cool thing to push through these fears. So let's go look at them. In the next slide, in the next few slides, I'm actually going to go through all of these gates that come off of the spleen, because all of these gates will influence how sometimes you might be paralyzed or feel fear in your business. And it will tell you what kinds of fear that you experience perhaps in your business and in your drive for your business, and how that fear might be keeping you paralyzed. And remember, being aware that once you experience that fear, you need to push through it to get to the other side. So the first one is the gate 48. The gate 48 is called the gate of depth. If you have this colored in your chart, you probably know this one pretty well. The gate 48, because it has a drive and a desire in its highest expression to go deep, deep, deep into knowledge and awareness, has a tendency sometimes to feel inadequate. So if you have this gate 48, it's very common for you to feel like, I don't have enough training, I don't have enough certificates, I don't have enough workshops, I need to take more, I need to go take many more workshops, I need a mentor, I need 38,567 practice sessions to make sure that I've mastered everything. And you can keep yourself stuck and trapped from moving forward in your business because you feel like you're not ready yet. If you have this in your chart, push through it and do it anyway. The gate 57, that's the next gate. The gate 57 is actually a very intuitive chart. It's claircognizance, it's knowingness, and it's oftentimes got a deep knowingness about the future. But what happens sometimes with the gate 57 is we get hesitant to take action because we don't have, we get hesitant to take action because we are afraid of what might happen in the future. There's a fear of the future. So if you have the gate 57 and you have a fear of the future, move forward and do it anyway. The next gate is the gate 50. The gate 50 is the gate of values, and it is a deeply nurturing, deeply compassionate energy. It's actually one of the energies for teaching and sharing. It's also an energy for cooking and an energy for nurturing and caretaking. And it is the gate 50, when you have this in your chart, can sometimes create in you a fear of failing. So, or most of a fear of failing others, fear that you're going to let other people down. So when you have the gate 50, oftentimes there's guilt associated with this, by the way, and this deep fear that I can't do this because if I do this and I'm not ready, I'm going to let everybody down, or I'm going to fail everybody. Or if I don't do this right, I'm going to fail everybody. So again, another place where you have to feel the fear and do it anyway. The gate 32, I think I forgot the 44, so I don't know if you're able to show with your cursor the gate 44, but I'll do that one in a minute. let's do the gate 44 for just a minute. Cindy's moving her cursor on this. I think I left out a slide for this one, but the gate 44, which is between the 57 and the 50, is actually a fear of the past. So when you have the gate 44, you might actually find that you have a fear that the past will repeat itself. So the gate 40, oh, thank you, Cindy, that's perfect. The gate 44 can have a fear of the past. Again, if you have the gate 44 colored in your chart and you have afraid that the past is going to repeat itself, remember the past is not necessarily doomed to repeat itself, but it will repeat itself if you're afraid that it will and you keep focusing there. So feel the fear and then do it anyway. The gate 32 is part of ambition. The gate 32 can be a fear of failure. When you have the gate 32, there's a fear that I don't want to do this because I might fail. Again, feel the fear and do it anyway with the 32. The next gate is the gate 28. Sometimes we call it the gate 28 the gate of adventure. Technically, it's called the gate of struggle. I prefer the name, the gate of adventure, to it. There's a fear here with the 28. First of all, people who have the 28 oftentimes have to find the most adventurous, creative way through things because part of their job in life, if you have the 28, part of your job in life is to discover the true meaning of what's really worth fighting for. And you are here to share the meaning of what's truly valuable in life with other people based on your own adventures and struggles. There's a fear with the 28, and that fear is that the work that you do will have no meaning. So when you have the gate 28, the fear is that your work has no meaning. And again, or there's also a fear sometimes that it'll be a struggle to get it started. And there's a fear of, will I have the energy to do it if I have to struggle with it? Again, feel the fear and do it anyway with the 28. Last but definitely not least, the 18. The 18 is a very powerful energy. It is the energy for pattern correction. Great energy for editors, great energy for people who are able to correct mistakes and figure out when patterns are out of alignment. Believe it or not, even though it's a very logical energy, I actually see a lot of healers who have this energy, and it's a great energy for a healer because this is the energy of somebody who can intuitively look at something and sense and see when the pattern is off. So when the pattern is off, you have the ability to intuitively know how to correct it, but there's a fear here. And the fear here for the 18 is the fear that you'll never get it perfect. So again, sometimes that fear of not being able to get it perfect will hold people back and keep you from doing what you came here to do. So again, don't let the fear of not getting it perfect hold you back from just doing what you need to do anyway. All right, so let's take a little shift in our conversation and let's talk about human design types and business. This is the part where I said you've got to know who you are. In the human design system, there are 5 energy types, and each energy type has a different way of doing business because each energy type has a different way of working. Let's look first at the first type. The first type is called the manifester. Manifestors have their own internal creative flow. It's a non-verbal creative flow. So when you are a manifestor, you have this inarticulate creative flow. Sometimes it's almost sound-based. When you move through a room or you go into your office, you have this sense, this flow of what needs to be done. The challenge when you are a manifestor is translating that nonverbal inner flow into language so that you can delegate if you need to, which, by the way, is not always the easiest thing for a manifestor to do, and so that you can let the people who you are working with or the people who you're selling products or services to what it is that you do and how it is that you do it. So the challenge sometimes for the manifestor, first of all, is being able to find the language to communicate that which you're doing. The second thing that's really important to understand if you're a manifestor is that you do not have a sacral center. When you look at this chart, you'll see there's a white square, not at the bottom, but kind of one up from the bottom. That's called the sacral center. The sacral center is the center for workforce and life force energy. As a manifestor, you have that center open, which means you experience workforce and life force energy from other people. You take it in, you amplify it, but you don't carry it in you consistently all the time, which means that when it comes to work, you're not here to work in the traditional way that we think of as working. You're here to get into a job, get into a business, get it started, and then hand it off to somebody else. You're not actually here when you're a manifestor type to do all the nanny stuff of maintaining and sustaining a business. And you're not here to work in the traditional way that we think of as working. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, for example, is not going to cut it for you. So when your sacral is open like this, working the way regular people work, quote unquote, isn't your style. And you really need to be able to structure your business so that you have some kind of consistent, I'm not going to say passive revenue because I don't actually believe at this stage of the game there's such a thing as a passive revenue stream, but you definitely need to have what I would call an automated revenue stream of some kind in your business. So whether that's if you're an informational business, if you're selling services or having some kind of digital products, having some kind of way for people to buy things from you online, but having a way to where your income is at least semi-automated so that when you do need cycles of rest and restoration, which you will need, you're able to do that and still maintain and sustain an income stream while you're taking care of yourself so that you can continue to move into this ever-evolving, ever-expanding, ever-creative cycle of initiation and creation that is who you are. You're here to initiate people. You're to give people ideas. You're here to get things started, but not necessarily to sustain and maintain. The next human design type is called the generator type. Generators are actually here to build and do work sustainably. The role of the generator actually, and the goal of the generator is to find the work that you love. So generators love to work when they love their work. They have an endless supply of energy. If they're doing work they hate, they still can kind of fake their way through it. They're not going to have the same quality of energy, and certainly they can still burn out. Even if you're a generator, if you're doing work you hate, you can burn out. But the capacity for a generator to work and to work sustainably is greater than any of the other types. The trick, though, is this, and this is hard for the generator. There's two things going on. The first thing is generators are not here to figure out what their job should be and then with their heads go out and make it happen. Most generators have a lifetime pattern of having an idea, going out and trying to make it happen, and then not getting the results that they thought would work. The generator is here to respond. So for the generator, they have to wait to respond, and then in the responding, find the right work. Let me talk to you about what does that mean. For a generator, there's like an external path that unfolds in front of them. So when you're a generator, you have a destiny, you have a life path, everybody does. And for the generator, it unfolds in a very unique way. It shows up, the steps that you are supposed to follow, the things that you are supposed to do. The next part of your creative process gets revealed to you from your physical outer world in front of you. The world is constantly showing you clues if you're a generator, and you are designed to follow the clues that feel good. So if you're a generator, let's do a concrete example. If you're a generator and you're looking for a job and you open up the newspaper and you're scanning the classified sections, if you hit an ad, which by the way, that's outside of you, that's not in your head, that's a physical thing that you're looking at this newspaper, you hit that ad and you see, oh, these people are advertising for this job, and the ad almost kind of glows on the paper and you go, oh, that sounds amazing. That's your inner intuitive center. And in the generator's case, if you look at the generator chart, you see it has that red square. That red square is called the sacral motor. When you are a generator, that sacral motor is your authority. That is your compass. That is the center that's going to take you to that right work. And the way in which you know that that's the right way to go is you have this internal nonverbal sound that you make, and it goes like this. And some of you may recognize the sound if you're generator types. You've probably been using these sounds your whole life. That sound is uh-huh or uh-uh. Okay, if you see that ad and it looks like it's jumping off the page at you and your whole inner being is going, aha, I'm going to go apply for that job. That's your authority. That's your truth. That's your compass guiding you and taking you to where you need to be to find the right work. I'm going to give you one more example just because I want you to really understand this as a generator, because it comes from outside of you. It's not from your head. We have a tendency to get an idea and go out and try to make the idea happen. We all do that. Manifestors, by the way, are usually the only people who can actually get away with that. The rest of us struggle if that's how we're creating, and especially if that's how we're creating a business. So for the generator type, it's about having an idea, sitting with the idea, enjoying the idea, imagining the idea, letting the idea stimulate a certain juicy emotional response, but not doing a darn thing with that idea until you get some kind of confirmation or sign from the outer world that yes, indeed, this is exactly what you should be doing. This feels right. When I first started teaching human design, I'm a generator type, by the way. When I first started teaching human design, I immediately got really excited about it, as you can imagine. And in my excitement about it, I decided, okay, I'm going to go teach a workshop. So I went, I rented a room, I made flyers, I put all these flyers out around town. I got really excited about teaching people human design. Well, the night of the seminar came, and I got ready to go host my seminar, and nobody showed up. And some of you may have had that experience before, particularly if you're in a teaching or a serving business where you have an idea, you go try to make it happen, and it doesn't work out, right? So I was very disappointed, but also I thought, I didn't respond to that. That was just an idea I had in my head, and I tried to force it to happen. So I waited, and a couple of weeks later, I was introducing one of my friends to human design and showing her chart, and I said, this is your human design chart. She said, this stuff's amazing. You should go teach a workshop on this. Ba-bing, something now showed out in my outer reality. I had a sign, a confirmation that, yeah, I should go do this. So I actually did an experiment. I went back and I rented the same room. I used the same flyer, changed the date. I wrote the same press release, except I changed the date, put it back in the paper, put flyers all over town. I did everything exactly the same, except this time I was responding. I had 32 people in the room, which for me at that time especially was huge, okay? So I had this huge response to my responding to the opportunity to have this workshop. And that's really for the generator type, the difference between creating out of your head and letting the world show you what's the next thing you should be doing and where you should be putting your energy. The second thing that happens with the generator types is they have an emotional theme of frustration. And what happens for generators sometimes, it's natural if you're a generator type to experience frustration. What happens for generators is whenever you do something new, in the beginning, you have an initial surge of mastery. You get to do something really awesome, that you have a lot of fun, there's a lot of feedback, there's a lot of growth and expansion, but then at a certain point, you sit on the plateau. Suddenly, things are not happening so fun anymore, things are kind of boring, you're feeling stuck and stifled, you're ready for something new. What happens a lot of times for generators is when they hit that plateau part of their experience is they jump off the plateau, they quit. I hate this job, I'm gonna quit. I don't want to do this anymore, I quit. This isn't happening the way I thought it would, I quit. Because the frustration, they don't understand. If you're a generator type, you don't understand the quality of what's going on with the frustration. Frustration is a vibrational energy. And the more a generator type sits on this plateau, the more frustration they experience. That frustration is actually like a beacon, sending out messages to the universe that says, hey, I'm ready for the next thing. I'm ready for the next step, okay? And so when you are a generator type and you're feeling frustrated, it's important to wait and see what else shows up before you quit. Because usually what happens is while you're sitting on that plateau, the next opportunity shows up and then you respond to it. This is what I want to do. And then you go on to the next surge in mastery until you hit the next plateau. Generators are here to be masterful. And if you're not riding those plateaus of frustrations correctly and you're bailing on them, you can have a tendency as a generator to do a lot of different things, but to never ever really cultivate a true level of mastery around that beautiful right work that you're supposed to be doing. So, all right, next slide, not email. The next slide is the manifesting generator. Manifesting generators are kind of like a 2-for-1. They have certain qualities that are similar to the manifestor, but they are also, first and foremost, always a generator. So a manifesting generator, we say sometimes is a fast generator. If you are a manifesting generator, you often need to do more than one thing at a time, which can drive, if you have employees or you have a team who you work with, it can drive them crazy, especially if they're not manifesting generators. I am a manifesting generator. One of my best friends is also a manifesting generator. We went into business together for a short time. And one of the things that we learned is that two people moving really, really fast, throwing a lot of spaghetti at the wall is not a very creative thing to do. It's sort of chaotic. So as a manifesting generator, your creation style, because it has some of that manifestor piece, is to try a whole bunch of things and to have an inner creative flow about trying a whole bunch of things. And then feeling after you try whatever it is you've thrown out there, feeling whether it feels correct or not. As a manifesting generator, you also have a nonverbal creative flow, just like the manifestor, but you also have to be responding no matter what. You're still always going to be the generator type, so you can't go initiate, even though you have that inner impetus to do that. As a manifesting generator, you are here also like the pure generator to build sustainably and find the right work. When you do, you can leap into it. And there's a tendency sometimes to skip steps. Now, sometimes that can be great. Manifesting generators are often excellent at finding shortcuts through things, but it also means that sometimes you have to go back and fix things. And it really works nicely if you're a manifesting generator to have a team of people who can guide you in the creation of your business, so that you don't skip so many steps and throw so much spaghetti that you create chaotically. The high part about being a manifesting generator is it does give you the capacity to do many things at once, and certainly for you, a hands-on way of being deeply engaged in your work, because that's the juice that makes your energy flow, is powerful. And certainly as a manifesting generator, just like the pure generator, you do need to be responding, but you also need to be informing. And one of the things I did not say about the manifestor, but this is really important. Manifestors, when they go out into the world, they have to translate that inner creative flow that they have into words. They have to be able to tell people what they're doing, because if you can't tell people, inform people what you're doing, they will oftentimes react to you with anger because they get confused. You also might find, if you are a manifestor, that you get angry with other people, particularly if they try to force you to say something, or if they keep interrupting you, even if they're trying to help you. It's not that you're mad at them, but you're mad because your creative flow got interrupted. Manifesting generators have that same thing. They have this inner creative flow. They have that generator quality of frustration, but they also have that manifestor part of having this nonverbal internal creative flow. And they can sometimes react with frustration and anger because nothing's moving fast enough, and they're frustrated with having to try to articulate and explain what they're doing to other people. So if you're a manifesting generator, you need to be responding, but you also need to make sure that, just like with a manifestor, you're looking at all the people who could potentially be impacted by your actions and make sure that you're letting people know what you're doing and what you're about to do, which if you hang on to that when we talk about marketing in a little bit, you'll see why that's super important, especially for marketing. So the next type is called the projector. Projectors are here to manage and guide and direct others. They also, if you look at this particular chart, you'll see this person has an open sacral. This is a white square at the towards the bottom of the chart. When you are a projector, you are here to manage and guide and direct others. You do not have a motor to the throat or energy to the throat the way a manifestor does. So you are not here to get things started, even though it feels like you might be sometimes. You are here to be wise. You are here to manage and guide and direct other people. And you're not here to work sustainably, just like we talked about with the manifestor. You have to have some kind of source of revenue that is semi-automated or automated, so that when you are in a process of needing a cycle of rest and restoration, that you are able to take care of yourself and sustain yourself financially, even if you're not physically present to your work or your job. Here's the thing that makes it a little bit more interesting for the projector. First of all, when you're a projector, you really do know others. You know others very, very well. So when you sit with someone or you meet somebody or you go to a business networking meeting even, it's very easy for you to share the wisdom that you have with people without waiting for them to ask first. Two things happen with that. Number one, if you do that, they either don't hear you or they steal your thoughts and information and they go profit from it, and you're going, but that was my idea, and they don't even hear you. The second thing that happens is if you're out there offering a lot of information for free, people don't value it. And consequently, sometimes you might begin to disbelieve in your own sense of value and struggle with setting up a powerful business that confers upon you the value that you are worthy of. So making sure you engage in business in a way that gets you recognition and invitations is a little bit tricky, because you have to be recognized and invited if you're a projector to share what you know, so that the right people who do value what you have to offer call you out into service. I just was talking about with one of my projectors clients earlier this morning, and she was talking about how this idea of knowing all this wisdom and having all this wisdom and having to sit still and wait for somebody to recognize that you have this wisdom and call you out feels really disempowering. I want to reframe that for you just a little bit. If you are a projector, you are incredibly powerful. You are here to manage and guide a specific group of people, and those people have to come and find you. And the way in which they come and find you is you have to be sitting still, holding on and nurturing and being a steward to the wisdom that is you, and then let them invite you to sharing that wisdom that you are here to share for them, for their sake. You are a powerful leader. You have tremendous things of value to share with the world, but you have to do it correctly. And so when we talk about marketing and promotion a little bit at the end, I want you to really understand that there is absolutely a way for you to engage in business, to be an entrepreneur if you choose to, but you have to do it correctly so that you are playing with the theme of value and the value of who you are correctly, so that people do value you and you don't burn yourself out trying to push what you know and push the wisdom that is you out into the world incorrectly and don't get the value back in return that you deserve. The other thing that happens for a projector is because you don't have the same quality of energy as, say, a generator type, and you do need cycles of rest and restoration, it's frustrating, not frustrating, but it can make you bitter that it's sometimes if you follow the formula exactly the way everybody else is doing it and they're getting results, you might not get the same results. If you go host a workshop, because somebody said, hey, you should teach a workshop about that, you might not get 32 people in the room if you're a projector, because that's not technically an invitation. That's something to respond to. An invitation for a projector is literally, I invite you to, or why don't you come to my place and I will host you and we'll do a workshop together. Those are real invitations and real recognition places. And those for the projector don't happen so often, or at least not as often as they happen for other people. That being said, and you're a projector, you're here to wait for big invitations. In between big invitations, it doesn't mean you can't be productive. It doesn't mean you can't be profitable. It doesn't mean you can't be effective and out in the world. It's just that you have to wait for those startup points, those places where people recognize and invite you into sharing what it is that you know, and then leveraging those correctly so that you don't burn yourself out, you don't push when you shouldn't be pushing, and you don't get the value conferred upon yourself that you need to. So your business needs to be sustainable, and the way in which it becomes sustainable if you're a projector is you've got to have an automated revenue stream, and you've got to know how to market yourself, especially for projectors, in such a way that you don't push people away or people don't steal and don't recognize the value of your service. Reflectors are our last type. Reflectors are not here to work in the traditional way that we think of as working. If you look at a reflector chart, you see there's a lot of openness. Anytime we have white in the chart, that's called openness. Any place we have openness is where we do not have sustainable energy. That's where we experience energy from others. Reflectors are here to reflect the energy of others. And as you notice, down at the bottom, not the bottom square, but the one above it, they also have an undefined or an open sacral, which means, again, you're not here to work in the traditional way that we think of as work. So again, in terms of structuring your business as a reflector, you really need to have an automated revenue stream so that you've got money coming in, even when your energy isn't able to sustain work. The thing about the reflector is a person who needs other people. You are here to reflect the health of the community. Your job is to be, in essence, an energetic canary in a coal mine. You are here to show people, reflect back to people the energy that they are in. So you are here to show the world that this is a healthy community if you are healthy. If you're a happy reflector, you're in a happy place. If you're a sad reflector, you're in a sad place. When you're in business as a reflector, you have to be engaged in business that feels good, which means you have to be working with people you love in a place that you love, and it has to feel right to you. And if it doesn't feel right to you, there's no amount of massaging and pushing and forcing that can make it work for you as a reflector. So very, very important, first and foremost, before you even go into business as a reflector, that you find the right people to have on your team and the right place to work that feels good. Then when you engage in your business, whatever it may be, you have to be aware of how much energy is yours, how much energy are you taking in from others. The reflector needs a lot of time for clarity. And if you are a reflector in business, if you're going to make big business decisions, you have to take your time and make those decisions with great deliberation. And sometimes you have to wait an entire month or an entire cycle of a moon, because the cycle of a moon will change and impact your chart differently than it will for anybody else. And if you're being pushed or pressured or forced into making rapid fire decisions that don't feel right for you, you run the risk of being disappointed, not only in yourself and your business, but also disappointed in others, or disappointed because your expectations didn't come true. So when you are a reflector in business, you really need to have a good and powerful team. You need to have people who can do the daily maintenance of the work that you're doing. You need to have built-in cycles of rest and restoration, and that's going to be individual for each reflector. You're going to have to look at how does your chart get impacted by the transits and especially the movement of the moon to know when perhaps you do need rest cycles. You need a lot of time and a lot to get clarity. You also need to have people in your life, if you're a reflector, who you can bounce things off of, because you need to hear through the conversations that you have with others. By the way, projectors need this too. You need to be able to talk about your business decisions with other people so that you can have that conversation reflected outside of you and you can see it outside of yourself so that you can continue to get more clarity. And then you absolutely need to make sure that you're structuring your business so that you've got some kind of automated revenue stream so that you do have the capacity to sustain yourself financially and also take some time off. All right, next slide. By the way, I am sending you, when we're done with this class, I'm going to send you a little Business by Design report. It's a free report. In that report, I break down all the 5 types and specifically what each type needs to do when you're structuring your business and your business plan. When you market, there's some really important things you got to be mindful of with marketing. Everybody can market. So let's be really clear about that, because sometimes I have, especially projectors, who tell me, well, I'm a projector, I can't market. You absolutely can market, but you have to market correctly according to your type. And part of that means you've got to really be clear about the kinds of language that you use in your marketing materials, including even in your website, in your Facebook marketing, anything that you do. So manifestors, because their theme or their strategy is about informing, and particularly informing before they take action, your marketing strategy with a manifestor has to be, or has to involve, some kind of informing. So manifestors can use marketing words like, I can help you too. I can help you make radical transformations in your life. I can help you find your true source of pain and help you heal. I can help you find your life path and your destiny, figure out who you are and what you're here to do. Manifestors are the only type who can use an informing statement in their marketing. So when you're a manifestor, it's actually vital for you and important for you that when you market and promote yourself, that you tell people what it is that you can do for them. It's interesting when you look at the way a lot of people market, a lot of people are marketing as if they are manifestors. If you go read sales copies or flyers or even websites, there are a lot of people who are telling you what they can do. And the truth is, if you're a manifestor, you can absolutely do that. a generator, a manifesting generator, projector, reflector, you can't do that in your marketing material. It actually will push people away. Generators and manifesting generators need to ask yes or no questions with their marketing. And actually, we kind of, generators and manifesting generators comprise 70% of the population. By the way, manifestors are about 8%, projectors are about 20%, reflectors are less than 1%. They're relatively rare. Generators and manifesting generators naturally ask questions anyway. I'll give you an example. If you're a generator parent and you have a kid and you say, go clean up your room, okay? It's like we have a natural tendency to ask people questions because we're not comfortable telling people what to do because it's not natural for a generator. If you are a generator or manifesting generator, you need to ask yes or no questions in your marketing materials. Are you ready to transform your life? Does your relationship leave you feeling unsupported? Do you struggle with communication with your partner? Would you like to deepen the intimacy in your relationship? Are you ready to make more money? These are powerful yes or no questions. And for generators and manifesting generators, all of your sales copy and your marketing needs to have yes or no questions on it so that people can then respond to you using that sacral-based energy that you have, and they can then be moved into deepening their relationship with you and finding out and discovering what it is, in fact, that you have to offer them. Projectors, it's a little trickier with projectors because projectors, first of all, if you're a projector, and especially if you're a projector trying to market like a manifestor, you're in big trouble. You cannot push. You can't inform people what you're going to do because people will instantly perceive you as being bossy and controlling, even if that's not at all what you're doing. I get that, and I know that's not what you're doing, but that's how it feels energetically. So for you as a projector, you have to, first of all, be very mindful on your marketing materials, even on your website. Be mindful of not plastering big pictures of yourself all over the place. You have to really kind of keep the energy of you personally out of your marketing materials because your wisdom as a projector is the knowledge that you have for others. If you're a projector, your most powerful marketing word is this: you, Y-O-U, okay? You can transform your life. You are worthy of receiving more than you're getting. You are able to do what you came here to do. To create the abundance you want to create in your life, you simply need to master these 3 simple skills. If you are a projector and you're writing sales copy or creating any kind of marketing materials, and this is actually kind of true for everyone, but certainly really true for projectors, I encourage you to go through, and after you've written all your marketing materials, go through and strike out any pronoun I that you see and see if you can't restate that question in you format. You do not want to use the pronoun I, or if you do use it as infrequently as possible if you're a projector. It's not about you, it's about the service you provide for others. Secondly, if you're a projector, your marketing materials literally need to be an invitation. And I would encourage you, even your website, have your website look like an invitation. Have your marketing materials look inviting or look like an invitation. And you can use the phrase, this is one place where you can use the word I invite you to, or an invitation for you. Open up your website, an invitation for you to connect with source, an invitation for you to unlock the secrets of your intuition, an invitation for you to finally break free of the blocks and the limitations that are keeping you from the abundance you deserve. These are powerful headlines for projectors. So use that invitation piece, which is important. As a reflector, you can do all of the above. The key thing, though, for reflectors especially is, again, in your marketing materials, minimize the I. Focus on the you when you're writing and using your marketing materials. So the second thing that you got to know is, what are you here to do and why do you want to do it? So we're going to kind of go through these a little bit quickly, Cindy.
I'm ready.
Okay. So first of all, and I encourage you to do this. I do this with all my business coaching clients. Before we do anything, even before we look at your human design chart, you got to know why you want to do what you want to do and what is your dream of contributing to the world. Certainly, each and every unique human design chart gives you a clear picture of your life purpose and your business purpose and the message you're here to share. So unfortunately, in this particular call, I can't address each and every individual chart, but certainly looking at your chart's going to give you some good clues. And you probably already know, what is that dream that you have inside of you that really drives you, that gets you excited, that turns you on, that makes you just get giddy when you think about living a life that is a reflection of that purpose. I'm going to show you guys this. On my desk, I have, this is my life purpose statement, my big why. Why do I do what I do? I have this on the right side of my desk. I read this every morning before I go and before I start my work, because sometimes in the grind of the day-to-day management of your business and your life, it's easy to forget, especially if you're tired and you're not paying attention to the cues for burnout and you're not resting appropriately and doing the self-care piece. It's easy to get sucked into the hypnotic maintenance of the grind of your business and forget the juice. If you don't have the juice, this is the energy that sets you on fire. This is the impetus that gets you going. And for anybody who starts in business, before you even do it, you've got to connect with what is that dream that you contribute to the world. So I would certainly encourage you, even today after we hang up, or I guess we don't hang up, but after we disconnect, ask yourself, what is my dream of contributing to the world? If I could give anything to the world, what would it be and how would I do it? What would that look like? You also want to look at what's driving you. Is it money? Do you want to have impact? Do you want to create more joy or be in your joy? Do you want to create more love in the world? And be mindful of this, is a little bit of a red flag in play, is do you have something that you want to prove? Make sure if you have something that you want to prove, like if you want to prove that everybody's worthy of love, or you want to prove that everybody is capable of creating abundance, those are awesome things to prove. If you're in business because you're trying to prove something that your parents said to you once and you think they're wrong and you're trying to prove that, be careful of that, because those underlying issues sometimes can sabotage our business. So be mindful of what drives you and what really brings you the juice in your business. Again, your human design chart is going to tell you a little bit about what it is that drives you. And again, it's very, very different for each and every one of us. We are designed by nature to fight for something that's valuable to us. We're also designed to a certain degree to struggle a little bit with something that's valuable for us. So be prepared that sometimes when you engage in business, you may have moments when you have to feel like Superman or Superwoman and punch through the limitations to keep moving forward. If it's something that you love, if you've hit on that sweet spot, that dream place, that longing to make that contribution, it's that fire that will carry you. And if you're not on fire with what you're doing in your business, meaning, and here's what happens, if you're doing something you really don't want to be doing, or if you're doing something you think, oh, well, I'll just make money at this, then later on I'll go do what I really want to be doing. If you're not on fire with your business, your clients are going to know. And if your clients know that you're not on fire with that business, they're not going to be inspired to buy from you. So even though it seems like, well, why would you connect with your life purpose first? Or why would you connect with that first? That seems so unbusinesslike. I will tell you that business by design, when we follow the stream of the business circuitry in the chart, business is the manifestation of inspiration by design and translating that business inspiration into material form. You've got to be on fire so that your clients can be inspired. And when they're inspired, they will bring you I don't want to say they bring you the profit, because I really even want to get out of that conversation at this stage of the game. Let's think of it this way. Your inspiration is a gift, and there are people out there who need that gift. When you're on fire, the people who need the gift you bring will find you, and there's a beautiful transaction there that happens between the sharing of your gift and the receiving of that gift, and an establishment of value then creates a profit stream in the work that you do, so that you can be supported and sustainable doing what you love, no matter what your type. You need to have a framework before you start anything. Your framework is basically an outline of your belief system. It's a way of organizing your ideas. It can be applied to a variety of topics and niches, so you don't stick yourself with one particular limiting belief about, oh, I should just be working with people who are 35 years old who have this one specific issue. There's a lot of mythology about you have to find your target clients. You don't really. You do have to find your framework, though, so that you can translate your framework to a lot of different kinds of clients. You need to make sure that your framework addresses a need for your clients, and it gives your foundation a big start and the key to saving time and energy in a business, and it allows you to incorporate your skills and talents and meet the needs of different target markets and niches. So let me show you some examples. Now, this is my framework. Now, don't get too locked into this because mine is a little convoluted, but basically my framework says this. You have a set of choices that you've made in your life, and those choices have brought you to where you are right now. That's the little green circle at the top that says current choices. The things that have influenced your current choices have been your human design, your experiences in your life, your conditioning, and the energies that you've been exposed to, the behaviors that you have that are a reflection of your unmet energy needs, and the consciousness that you have around abundance. All of those 4 factors will have influenced your current choices. If you want to make a different set of choices and create something different in your world, you have to know your human design, that's awareness. You have to decondition, meaning you have to clear the trauma and the pain, the epigenetics, everything that's keeping you from being who you really are. You have to begin to engage in the world without hidden agendas and motivations and have clear intentions. And you have to shift your consciousness so that you have an abundance consciousness and you believe that anything and everything is possible. That's going to make you more resilient. That's going to help you create new choices, and it's going to make you feel completely and totally alive. Now, that framework might not make any sense to you guys, but to me, and it's really the framework you create is all about you. Anytime I create a class, a program, I do a reading, I do a training, I am in some way, shape, or form addressing these elements of information for my clients or for my students so that I am helping guide my students from making the choices that they've made up until this point to making a new set of more resilient choices so they can be more alive, more juicy and vibrant in their life. In the next slide, I have another example. This is just a very simple framework. You don't have to have a convoluted, messy framework like me. In this particular framework, it says plan plus resources times execution equals success. So that might be your framework. You might have a framework that says, this is how we create success in the world. It's a very simple framework. But again, you can take this framework and you can translate it to anything. So let's say you're teaching relationship classes and this is your framework. You might have a plan for how you're going to make your relationship better. Resources might be education and information, and then you might have you might execute information in the plan and create success in a relationship. You can translate this or mutate this in whatever way you want, but you got to make sure whatever your framework is that you create, that you're creating a framework around something that you love and that is in alignment with the philosophy that you bring to your business. To keep it really, really simple, here's what your framework is. It is simply your core philosophy about what it is that you do. If you're a healer, what do people need to heal to bring out the highest expression of who they are? If you're a teacher, what is it that you're teaching people so that they can tap into the fullest expression of their abundance? If you're a business person, what is it that you're selling people and why are you selling it to people so that every time you open your mouth, you are transmitting that why you should buy this, why you should buy this to the world around you. Your framework is your core philosophy behind what you do and why you do it. If you have a framework, if you can really define that for yourself, in that framework, you've got A, your life purpose, B, the purpose of your business, and C, a way to then translate that framework into all different kinds of programs and trainings so that you can create for yourself multiple streams of income and ultimately automate some of those, particularly if you're in the information business and you can make them digital. All right, let's talk about really getting started because very little happens from the couch no matter what your human design type. Okay, people often tell me, well, if I'm a waiting type, if you're a generator, projector, manifesting generator, reflector, you have waiting as part of your life cycle. You have to wait for things to show up, or you have to wait for recognition and invitations. And what happens a lot of times is people say, well, how am I supposed to get my business started if I have to wait? How does that work? Let's talk about what you can do while you're waiting. First of all, most importantly, always start your business with an intention and phrase it as a question. We are designed to ask, not tell the universe what we want. Here are some example questions. What would it take for my business to be an ever-expanding source of sustainable income for myself and my family? What would it take for this business to be an invitation for anyone who wants to improve their life? What would it take for me to be engaged in my business in a way that is inspiring, exciting, engaging, and delicious? What would it take for me to generate revenue in a way that gives me the freedom to work on my own terms? These are intentions. These are intention questions. Ask yourself those questions. You don't have to answer them. These are guiding statements, guiding questions to continue the evolution of your business. The second thing that you gotta do is you've gotta get off the couch. You have to follow the joy. Go do, while you're waiting, go do the things that feel joyful. What you find a lot of times is in the process of pursuing that joy, you will accidentally, on purpose, stumble into the opportunities that allow you to do the business that you feel called to do. Get ready, study, learn, get support, explore, and wait for signs. What does that mean? Make friends, build your network correctly according to your type. You can also, if you're a hermit type or you're a projector and you really don't want to go out and initiate conversations, create ebooks, reports, blog posts, video posts, websites. Study and follow the people you admire. Listen carefully, and most importantly, every day, stay focused on the service. The more you focus on the service in your business, the more your business will come to you. And you have to focus on the number one thing you need to do to get your business started. You ready? Your database. You have to build a database. You have to start collecting people, potential clients who are interested in what you have to share. So that can be, in the beginning, your friends and family. That can be people on social media. That can be people that you meet at networking groups, but you've got to have people to market to. And there are so many ways to reach people, including social media, your website, networking, expos, events, telesummits, radio shows. But you've got to start building a place where you can impact people. The thing that I want to encourage you to do is pick one place to start building your database. Pick one place to start collecting clients. Social media is super easy and it's free. Sometimes when we're starting out business, we don't have a lot of capital. Build a Facebook fan page, start writing articles, post it on the Facebook fan page or put videos on there, and then start inviting people to come to your page. But master one way of bringing people into your business. And sometimes we start with this sort of spray and pray strategy. Don't go that way. Find the one that you like the best, that you feel the most comfortable with. Use it correctly according to your human design type. That means inform, or give people questions to start with, or give them an invitation, and then deepen it, go deep with it, master it, and then once you've mastered it, then diversify. By the way, I'm going to send you guys a link to, when we're done with this call. Right now, I'm actually in the middle of a big giveaway being sponsored by Verinda Norman, and in this giveaway, she's got a collection of really great database building free reports that you can read and watch and listen to. It's just really, really cool material. I'm really excited to be part of this. So check that out. It's totally free, and you can even unsubscribe later if you don't want to receive anything else. But do get those free reports. Once you've created a way to collect and reach potential customers, then decide on the services and the means of delivery of your products. Okay, so get your clients, get exposure to them first, listen to them, put surveys out. See what they really like and see what kinds of people you really like and what kinds of things you really like to talk about. Then once you get a feel for your clients, then decide on the services and how you're going to deliver the products. Are you going to do one-on-one services? Are you going to create packages? Are you going to have intensive VIP days? Are you going to do retreats, workshops, trainings, teleclasses? Are you going to live stream events? That gets easier and easier to do, by the way. Or are you going to have group programs? Pick your services according to your energy and your work style. If you are a manifestor, projector, or reflector, I would gently suggest don't jam your schedule full of one-on-one clients. You might do better to have a workshop or a training once or twice a month and then not do a whole lot in between because you don't have the energy for it. So think about, how can I best deliver my service one-to-many so that I can sustain my energy? Sometimes we think we have to do one-on-one stuff, and you don't. The other thing I want to tell you is you don't have to do it alone. I'm going to give you, and as I said, when we hang up, I'm going to send you a business by design report so that you can at least go deeper into looking at your type and how to structure your type. Certainly, you may post anything you want on this page, and give us, if you have questions, if you want to talk about your business, I'm going to be on this page answering questions. Post stuff here. The world needs you to do what you came here to do. And if you really want to go deeper with this and you really want to look at what's my big why, what might be holding me back, what do I need to do to maintain and sustain my own energy? How can I create a powerful flow with my energy? I have a brand new program coming out called the Business Alignment Coaching Program. I'm going to send you information about this program, and I'm going to give you a 25% off coupon. So watch your email database, and I'll give you some opportunities for you to really get the mentoring and the coaching and support that you need so that you can get out there and really do this work. I hear people all the time talk about their dream for a new business. I'm going to tell you, the world and the economy right now is ripe for you to really live that dream and to do that. So don't waste your time anymore wishing and dreaming. Whatever and however you need to do it, now is the time to get started because the world needs you to share that beauty that is you today. So, all right, do we have questions, Cindy?
Karen, we don't have any questions right now. I just took both pages, so there's no questions.
Okay, good.
Filled everyone's head with information.
All right, good. So here's what I'm going to say for you guys. Integrate some of the information we've talked about. Look at your chart. Think about your business. Most importantly, think about the big why. What's driving you to go into business? Post your questions here if you have questions, or if you have any other questions you want me to look at, shoot me an email, Karen@Joyful Mission. Let's talk about what's going on with you and what do you need to do to get yourself started doing what you came here to do. I want to thank you guys so much for being here. I want to thank Cindy, as always, for being my right-hand gal and running the show. And I look forward to your prosperity, your manifesting your big inspiration into form, and I look forward to supporting you in any way that I can. Thank you all so much. Bye-bye.